Hey y'all, welcome to another episode of Eating While Broke. I'm your host, Coline Witt, and today we have a legend in the building.
Let the Lord use it. Tell them again.
A legend. I literally DM'd, called, bragged to all the friends, all the comics that I knew, and was like, yo, you'll never guess who I have. I have Earthquake in the building.
That's it, and I'm glad to be here.
Earthquake. I'm telling you, I enjoy your comedy. I just enjoy it. It's great. I laugh out loud, which not a lot of comics can do for me.
Well, very few can, but you know, we won't say no names.
No, we won't. And I'm a critic. So what do you have us eating today?
Well, I'm ready to give you one of my legendary meals, and it is called the grilled cheese sandwich. You understand? Mm-hmm. Grilled cheese is it. Had it when I was broke. I'm eating it now that I'm rich.
Now that you're rich. When was the last time you ate this?
2 weeks ago.
For real?
Yes.
Hey, you're like me. Okay. Okay, I like that.
Me and the grilled cheese go deep.
Now, are you one of those people that put the butter on the bread directly or on the pan?
No, I put it on the bread.
That's how I am.
You spread it across the bread, and you make sure. See, when I was broke, you know, I didn't have individual slices of cheese like that. It was government cheese. You had to have a knife and a jackhammer to get it off. And it took like, this plant right here, this ain't gonna do it.
No.
You need like 9,000 degrees to milk it, you know, to get it to milk, you know, pressure on it. But now I have money, you know, I see you got the individual slice of cheese there, American cheese
now,
right there, that's pretty.
Do you still eat American cheese or do you get the real cheese now?
No, I eat that. I don't like the real cheese. I didn't know that wasn't real cheese, so please do not tell me that's not real cheese.
I just found that out when I was pregnant.
Well, please don't tell me. It's real cheese to me. Me and that cheese ain't never had no problem, and we ain't gonna have no problem after leaving your show.
Okay. Well, why don't you get started making the classic of all classics?
Well, first thing you have to do when you're doing, you got to get the bread right there and you lay it on there. You get this here with the butter, and you have to come on through here and you have to run it all the way across as evenly. See, some people just put it right here. Then when you eat your grilled cheese, you sitting there, you got a spack of butter on there. Cholesterol, high blood pressure, that's why a lot of people die, stroke right there. So you want to make sure spread it all the way across, just like if it was mayonnaise.
When you go out to restaurants, are you one of those people that, you know, you get the butter and you slather it on the bread when they bring it to the table?
No, I like to do it the same way I'm doing right here. It's like a woman, you want to make it even.
Okay.
You know, you put it all over. You don't want to just give her just a piece of it. You want her to have all of it. That's what I'm talking about. And then you throw this down here by itself. You just put it on a pan by itself.
You gotta heat that pan.
Well, I'm gonna heat it.
Okay, let me stop back
What you,
kitchen.
mind your business?
Yeah.
You just sit back.
Speaking of mind your business, let me get all up in your business. What was going on at the time when you were eating grilled cheese sandwiches because you had to?
At what point in my life? When I was young, my mother didn't cook.
It's this one.
Is it this one? Okay.
Yeah.
I got it, baby. I got you.
See, I was staying out your business.
No, you wasn't. You just had to tell me I turned on the wrong eye, and I would took care of the rest. Younger life when I ate grilled cheese is my mother worked a lot, so this was the only dish that I could cook for myself. Now that and cinnamon toast, slide it underneath the boiler, put 2 pieces of butter on it and cinnamon on it. Well, anyway. As I got older to eat it, quick meal, give you what you need real good, don't take no time. Now where I'm at now, just miss it. You know, set it off. You know what would be good today? A motherfucking grilled cheese sandwich.
Yeah.
That's the thing. God damn it. Yeah, I want a grilled cheese sandwich. So that's how it is.
Do you eat out now a lot?
I try not to, but I do. I'd say about 3 times a week I eat out. Other times I eat at home.
Now that you have more money, are you the type that's like more restricted with your diet? Because I notice a lot of celebrities, they'll switch to vegan or, you know.
No, I believe in moderation. I think anything or too much is bad for you. I don't eat any fried food, any of it. I try to stay away from that. If I do, it's occasionally here, fry here or there. Bake everything in fish. That's how I do.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Yeah, everything is baked as much as possible.
Why the anti-fry?
Frying food is not good for you, especially if man can't keep this kind of complexion eating all that fried chicken. You know what I mean?
As a comic, do you feel like there's pressure on image?
No, I don't. I think your jokes is the #1 product that you have. I mean, if you stay funny, then whatever rap it come out don't matter. You know what I mean? So, you know, I mean, you see obese comics that made it, such as John Candy. You can be good looking, the D-Rays, the Bell Bellamy, those good looking brothers, the average looking brothers such as myself, Kev, the rest of us, you know, that's kind of brothers. So it doesn't really matter, you know. Kev is the most in shape comic that we have right now. He's very physical, conscious, more, you know, about his, you know, so it is what it is.
Are majority of your fans women or no?
I believe they are black women. My favorite thing God has ever put on this earth. I think women are my #1, and preferably black women. I really write my jokes to them, you know, to be quite honest with you.
So when you first got your start, so you grew up in I would say you were saying like a low income household or poor, right?
We wasn't poor. I had a mother and father which, you know, raised me. We was right now you would say lower middle class.
Okay.
You know what I mean? We never missed for anything or wanted anything, but we had to plan it. It wasn't no spontaneous shit like, let's go on vacation. We had to save up for it, that type of thing.
Yeah.
See what you're looking for now, let it brown a little bit. Once it brown right there, you put the cheese on top of it, butter the other one on there, and then put that pressure on their ass, and it'd be good.
So why comedy? Like, what was going on where you transitioned to comedy, or was it like a couple pivots and landed into comedy?
No, I was in the military for 9 years, and I wanted to do 20 years, but the war broke out, and I was like, man, I don't mind it. I don't mind practicing for war, but y'all talking about fighting for real. I ain't your real soldier. I joined this to get out of my mother house. I could have stayed in D.C. to get shot at. So I had to make a decision.
That's hilarious.
You know, it's a true story. And I turned on CNN. I remember like it was yesterday. And you know how they always do the poll. Where's the best city for a black man to be, for the best, you know, the most opportunities for him to prosper in the corporate world and everything, and they said Atlanta, Georgia, and I've never been to Atlanta, Georgia. I said, that's where I'm going. So I got 3 of my friends who also didn't want to fight in the war. Said, man, we're going to Atlanta. And we moved to Atlanta, all 4 of us, and shared a 2-bedroom apartment. And each one of them went to find different jobs, and I went out and tried comedy while I was still collecting my unemployment from Uncle Sam. And
when did you actually get that inkling that you wanted to do it, though?
It was see, for me, I don't make plans and stuff, so it wasn't no epiphany. This is what I want to do. It was more of, this is the best decision. I tell young people all day, don't get the pressure of what you should do. Just put down what you shouldn't do. I knew what I wasn't going to do. I wasn't going to go to jail. I wasn't going to sell no herb, sell no drugs. I wasn't going to do this. Now everything is open. So to answer your question is, comedy was the best decision that day, and a better decision hasn't came this way. So it ended up being my destiny.
Or would you say your destiny or your purpose?
My destiny.
When you're that as talented as you are, well, I guess what's the difference between purpose and destiny? Because I would look at someone like you and be like, wow, you found your purpose. Like, you are, you know what I'm saying?
I mean, I'm different with that. I knew I was going to be successful.
At anything?
At anything, once I decided what I wanted to do.
But comedy is one of the hardest. Let's say it's not only the hardest, but I would imagine you failed quite a few times before
No,
you
I
did.
never did.
You were good from the jump.
From day one.
You never had a bomb.
Never.
You never had a bomb?
Never bomb. I had one hiccup, and this was because it was emotional. A good friend of mine, rest in peace, he portrayed me at the highest level. And I had told my agents and everything, do not let him be on none of my shows, no nothing, we don't have nothing. And for some reason, he was on my show. And it was at North Carolina A&T. It was a college show. And I had just seen him, and I haven't seen him since the time that he did what it is. And it threw off everything. See, I don't write. I don't have a set. A lot of comedians have a set. I go up there and it comes to me and I follow wherever it takes me. And right there, that was one of the times that it just didn't come. And it was frustrating, but I weathered through it. But the bomb part, no.
Wait a minute, are you still like that? You still do your sets like that where you don't?
Oh yeah, okay. Yes.
So when we watch you on Netflix or what have you, it's not like a pre...
I already knew what I wanted to talk about, but it's never choreographed each word to say this, and this. It's a lot. That's why I never watch my specials, because I always know I can get back like, damn, I forgot to do this. And I finally watched my legendary spot. Legendary special that was done by Dave Chappelle, and I was like, damn, I forgot to put in on January 6th when I was pat. And I'm supposed to be like, I'd be like John Walker in that motherfucker, just pat. I forgot all that part. It was a lot of parts that I forgot. And I was like, damn, I forgot it.
You didn't have to do like 2 different tapings? I would assume you had to do 2, right?
I did 2, but it was 2 different days.
Oh, okay.
1 a day.
Okay.
Well, and Dave said after we did the first one, he said, we don't even have to do the second. We got it in 1 take quick.
Yeah.
And we was done. There we go.
There
See, that's what you want.
Oh,
see
yeah.
That?
That looks
there
good.
It is.
That looks good.
Then you get a big, you got to get the cheese. Got to get it right here.
So you step out into comedy in Atlanta.
Yes.
And then what happens?
Well, they had a historic comedy club, and it was called the Comedy Act Theater. It was historic, broke so many things. Robin Harris had the one here in L.A., and they had one in Atlanta. And black people, you tell a woman you a comedian, first thing they, when you gonna be at the Comedy Act? I said, well, I'm not at the Comedy Act. I'm down here working for old white man Charlie, at the white clubs. And they were like, well, call me when you come to Comedy Act. So anyway, I told her, I said, okay, finally went to the, you had to go on open mic and prove that you deserve to be on that stage. So I went there and proved it. He gave me a date. He said, man, I'm gonna finally book you. I've been asking him. I said, book me. He'll tell me. I said, you gonna book me? He said, I'm gonna let you open up for Paul Mooney. So I went to the girl. I was like, hey, babe, finally got it. Come see me this Friday. I'm on 2 shows. I told the girl to come. She came and everything at the show. I go up to the owner. I say, hey, man, what time am I going? He said, you ain't working here today. I said, you said I was gonna work here. I don't let nobody open up for Paul. Paul don't. I said, you did say it. He said, I didn't say it. And this comedian, who's a good friend of mine, stood up to him and said, you did tell him that. His name was Sherman Golden. He said, you did tell him that. So he said, I didn't tell her. So the girl said, see, I knew you was lying. You ain't no damn comedian. So I said, that's all right. So I called my mother and told her what happened. I said, this and this. And my mother, as she always do, give me tough love. She said, why are you upset? Whatever I told you. Told you when you're a little boy, you can't get mad at a kid that don't let you ride their bike, even if they promised you. So why you beat up the other boy for not letting them ride your bike? You either get your own comedy club or go somewhere else, somebody else. And that what motivated me to open my own comedy club up. And
wow.
That's what I did. I opened up Uptown Comedy Corner and closed his club.
That's crazy. I was gonna ask you when did the comedy club enter? Wow.
It was motivated to the point that I had nowhere in Atlanta to perform. And he had the only club, and he jerked me around and thought I was gonna get some sympathy from my mother. She gave me real hard love, like get your own, and that's what happened. And I, in turn, went and got my club and called it Uptown Comedy Corner.
Wow.
Yeah,
now,
and it's still here today. I mean, I don't know, no longer own a part of it, but shout out to you, Uptown.
So, but now you go from a comic on stage to doing the business, and I'm sure there had to have been like a whirlwind of education that you had to pick up, or how did that whole transition?
Well, to be honest with you, again, I try to tell people what you might look as a slight or a dish could be the best blessing God had ever gave you. For me, opening up my own club, Comedy Act being so strong, he told every comedian in Atlanta, black comedian, if you work his club, you'll never work my club. You can't work, you're blackballed. And you got the biggest club, mine is open up for the first time. So what that did was I had to do all the time. I didn't have other comedians there.
Wait, he said that?
Oh, that's still a rule for a lot of comedians. Comedy clubs used to do that all the time. You work the improv, you can't work the Funny Bone. You work Comedy Store, you can't work the Laugh
I didn't know
Factory.
that.
Yes, it's always because they feel it's the competition. So if they sitting here, if you over there pick what side, and comedians like, we just want to work.
Yeah.
So they boycott you, and they'll tell you right now, if you work this one club, you couldn't work the other. And that was the rule. So they wouldn't come work my club because they didn't want to be, excommunicated from here in LA Comedy Act. You gotta understand, Robin Hurd was high, the Tories, it was the staple. I'm a brand new fucking club.
So now you end up doing most of your stand-up and owning the club.
Exactly. So,
That's
and nobody
crazy.
wouldn't do it. That's why me and Steve Harvey is so tight. I called Steve up because we was friends. I said, none of these motherfuckers would do my club and this and this and that. He said, fuck them, I'd do it. And he called me and he came. And once he came, he was hosting Showtime at the Apollo at the time. And he did my club, sold him out. Everybody came to see him, but discovered me. So from that point on, we was rolling. And plus, we was better. We was uptown. We had food. We had valet service. He was downtown in a bad part of town, which was midtown, where people was breaking in the car. That's why I call my club Uptown, because at that particular time, black people wasn't going to Buckhead. They was staying away from Buckhead. It was kind of like Cobb County and Marietta now. That's black people. I've just left Atlanta. They're there now. But back then, that's when them Caucasian people like, hit the line. Don't you bring your black ass up here. It was Georgia. And they told them they can't. And I was from Washington, D.C. Oh, what the hell you say we can't come up here? I'm coming up here. So I went on and put my club up there and called it Uptown Comedy Corner.
How did you finance everything? The military?
Well, no. What happened is I had this partner. His name was Gary. He was doing like he was doing one-nighters, and one-nighters is just where you just have comedy that night. He was doing them in like Taco Max and little speakeasies and shit. So I said, man, we need to open up a club. And he was like, man, a club? I'm like, yeah, a black comedy club. So I took him down to the Comedy Act and said, look at this. They got 400 people in here, 2 waitresses, no food, service is bad, and they use the same comics for the whole month. So if you see this motherfucker, this Friday and Saturday, you're going to see the same act next Friday and Saturday, which is against the law in being comedy. So he said, I bet. So we both went out and tried to get some people to finance the club. Of course, I went to all my brothers who was in basketball, like and sports athletes like Dion and all them, and all different. None of them ain't give me no money. He found a plastic surgeon, the #1 plastic surgeon in Georgia, well, in the country at that time. He gave us $500,000 to start the club.
Did you guys know him, or was it just a random?
Well, he knew him. I didn't know him.
And he was he a black guy, or was he?
Nah, he was white.
And he financed $500,000.
He gave us $500,000 to start the club off. First, before he gave us the $500,000, he gave us like $20,000 and say, all right, flip that 20 on comedy and show me y'all can make money off of it. Then I'll support y'all in for the club. So that's how we found Ricky Smiley. We went down to Birmingham to do a one-nighter and ran into Ricky Smiley and let him open up the show. He was the feature. My
in
partner,
Birmingham, though.
In Birmingham,
okay.
where he's from. And he He was the feature. The dude who, his name is Gary. He was the MC and I was the headliner. And we just did shows down there and flipped the money and came back to Dr. Tom and said, we brought you back 60 off the 40. He said, okay, y'all really can do this. And then he gave us $500,000. And
why didn't you guys tap the Steve Harvey Connect at the time?
Well, Steve wasn't Steve at that point.
That was because it was before the club.
It was before the club.
But wasn't he doing Apollo?
He was doing Apollo and everything, and plus his manager, Chris Petta, who owned the comedy club himself, was our. You could say he was our counselor. He was our consultant. Told us where to get the stuff at, how to run a club, and all that. So we know all the intricacies and the nuance of running the club. And he managed Steve at the same time. And you know, once we got on our feet and everything, we called Steve up, and Steve came and did it for us.
That's amazing.
And we turned it in, and from that one club, we made it out up to about 4. 2 in Atlanta, and 1 in Texas. No, 3 in Atlanta, and 1 in Texas, Dallas, Texas. Yeah.
Wow.
Yeah.
That's.
Yeah, we was the first ones to ever do one-nighters for comedy, for black comics. They could say what the fuck they mean. We was the first one down south to actually say, for tonight, there's gonna be a comedy show here. Not motherfuckers doing comedy between dancing and everything. Actually, tonight is a comedy night.
Now, most comedy clubs, don't they make their money off like alcohol too?
Well, the door and it. It all depends on how you structure the deal. A person of my status, if you know, looking at it, they probably ask for a guarantee of a certain amount of money and a percentage of the door, 80 to 90% minus expenses.
Wow.
You know what I'm saying? And then the liquor and the food is the clubs. That's how they make the money.
So did you guys have to get a liquor license?
Of course.
And that wasn't hard to do? Or is that why you needed so much money?
Well, that wasn't hard to do because they was white. It would have been harder to do for me if I did it. You know what I mean?
Oh, you mean because the surgeon was white?
Well, the surgeon was white and my partner was white.
Oh, okay.
I mean, Gary. He's white too. I was the only chip in the cookie in this equation.
Oh, wow.
I was the only black person bringing to a black, telling it was a constituent, that wanted to see black comedy. But I couldn't get nobody black to see it but them, you know, and let me be the catalyst. So I was the face of the company. I was the one out in the streets telling them to come do it, and I knew exactly what it needed to do. You got to understand, this is the time Chris Tucker had just started, you know. Bernie had was just hitting too, you know, so we had everybody. Every comedian you ever graced my stage at my club. It was in the 90s, you gotta understand, that's when TLC, Goody Mob, Ludacris was on, the radio still being a rapper. It was Atlanta when Atlanta was Atlanta.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I was from out of town and saw an opportunity and cashed in on it.
Now, how did you end up staying passionate about comedy while becoming like this, like impressive entrepreneur? Like, how was it not distracting?
Well, it really wasn't, because that wasn't my aspect of the game. I personally wasn't looking at it, the entrepreneurship of it. I finally got a place of opportunity to perform and validate to what's one of my biggest heroes in life, women, black women. Yeah, I am a comedian, poetry. Here I am, you know what I mean? So the entrepreneur part of it, I was too young to even see that aspect of it. You know, I was really ignorant to the fact of it. It was like, I got my own comedy club. I just got out the military, and now I got a club in a hot city that's bumping. I mean, it's beautiful with nothing but us, and they party at 6 in the morning. You go over to Dominique's club, stay there to 4, go to Magic City, stay to 5, then you go to 112, stay there till 8 in the morning. And then they was just coming up with this Southern music, stylistic, and Big Boy, and Andre 3000, TLC. And you a major player when all that shit is happening right there. You got money in your pocket and never had to stand in no line to get in no club, and had the hottest one when Alexis first came out, had 2 of them and living in Buckhead in a penthouse. So the entrepreneur part of it the business I didn't even see. I was like, shit, rock and roll, motherfucker. I'm living the life, nigga. Fuck all that rest of it. My money packed, and you know, you looking at your partner, you get that in. You stay behind the scene. I'll be the front man. Oh, we got a partnership. We're gonna get Dr. Tom back his money and expand on and keep on going, you know. And that's what it was.
When did you realize that you had officially arrived? Like, was there a pivotal moment where you were like, I'm in this game. I'm in it.
I was at Steve Harvey's club because he had his own club.
After you opened yours?
Yes, I went mine first, and then he had his. I think that's how it went. Don't correct me, but his was huge. He held about 450 people. Mine only held about 290, 300. He had his own, and it was in Dallas. So I did for him what he did for me. I came to perform in his club. And
it was all love at this point. No competitive. No part of you was like, oh, Mal, he's opened a club after I opened a club. I'm just trying to understand.
But you don't even see that.
Yeah.
When you're in the midst of having a great time, one thing about to be a hater, you have to pay attention.
Yeah.
I'm not paying attention. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I don't have no time to be looking at what you're doing. I mean,
I like
trying to get what I'm doing. To hate on somebody, you must pay attention to what they're doing. You know, so that's not me. So I'm into me, what I'm doing. I done came out the military of, you know, representing the United States, and now I have self-proclaimed, both for myself, of my name enabled into the greatest city, and found a hustle, to be quite honest with you, that was paying a lot of money that I was born with. I didn't have to work at. I ain't have to they was paying me for being me. So shoot, when you first get that, you're like, all right. So I didn't know what my talent was until I went to Steve's club. And then I learned the business of the game, because you get on stage based upon your credits. This man been on Apollo Theater, this been in the movie, I got the hookup and everything. I had nothing.
At that time, you had nothing.
I had nothing. All I had was he's funny as shit.
Yeah.
He's one of the funniest. Bang out. Steve knows it. So,
But Steve knew how funny you were.
Oh, definitely.
Yeah.
Definitely.
So he knew you were going to shut it down. So he was like the one that kind of helped introduce you to the world, would you say?
Well, what he did was he showed me was, because when we got in the back, you know, he brought all the comedians, go like your camera, all that. You know, say, you go first, you do 15 minutes, you 20, you'll close the show. We sitting here in the back, and he said, you go first, you go feature, Quake, you close the show. So the dude who'd been on Apollo and from New York said, hey man, I've been on this, shouldn't I close the show? And you know, Steve, what people don't know about Steve Harvey. Steve Harvey has been Steve Harvey since day one. He told that motherfucker, this Steve Harvey club. If Steve Harvey say he go last, he go last. So we sitting back all together, comedians do this. Hey man, you really want to go talk to him? You know, I'm who I am. You might want to go up here and tell him, you know, that I should host it and you don't want that. I said, man, I ain't telling that motherfucker nothing.
And they said that to you?
No, he said that to me.
The one that wasn't?
Yeah.
Wow.
And what he was saying was, I'm going to make it easier for you. You should go ahead and go. Because if you go behind me, it's going to be hell for you. You know, you're going to get booed, and it's going to be an ass whooping. That's what you don't want. So as me...
Comics aren't like that anymore, though, right?
Oh, yeah, they are. They still are. Okay. A lot of comedians... If you put comedians together, we already know who's supposed to go win. And if we see somebody with inferior talent behind, we'll look at them and say, hey, you better say something. But if you don't want to say nothing, go on up here. Because, see, all the credits you have don't matter when you hit that stage. You get the applause and you get the patience for the first 5 minutes. But after that, you got to bring that work.
Dang.
And it's right there where you differentiate between who's funny and who has titles. Who's a movie star but used to be a comic.
Yeah.
Who's a TV star who used to be a comic.
Yeah.
You know, but who still is funny today. So the equalizer on the stage is speak for itself, and that's what I was saying to him. I said, listen, man, I ain't saying nothing. You heard what he said. If you don't like where it is, then you go up there and tell him. And he said, you know, how black people say, all right then. See, when they tell you, all right then, I mean, nigga, I gave you a warning. You about to get it.
Yeah.
So as a comedian, you can sit back. I'm sitting in the back of the room and just looking. And I mean, this motherfucker putting emphasis on every joke he in. You could tell, boy, well, you could think the cameras was on like this. This motherfucker wanted to document it. And I just looked at him and said, that ain't gonna be enough.
Yeah.
So I hit him on Wednesday, I hit him on Thursday, hit him on Friday. By Friday, he came around the same goddamn conclusion, Steve. He was like, man, who are you? I said, who are you? Who are you? And me and Steve still talk about that to the day. Motherfucker gonna tell me who it is. Steve has given me that type of reinforcement, encouragement a lot in my career. So that's when I knew. I said, okay, I can really do this. This is an option if I want to go down this road. I got this.
Yeah.
I'm not saying that's where I want to go. That's why when, you know, Chris Tucker came to me before he left to come to L.A. He's like, come on, man, let's go to L.A. You need to lead this shit, man. Let's go to Hollywood. I said, calm down, motherfucker. I just got here. You from here. Let me enjoy all this. He's from Atlanta.
Okay.
He was like, come on, let's go to LA. I'm like, no, I'm loving this, man. Brand new thing. These badass black men, you crazy, man. Shit. You ain't got to pay for gas down this motherfucker because they let you pump it first and then go inside and pay. Who does that? I ain't going in there and pay you. It's free ass gas. I'm down here killing these country motherfuckers. I'm slick, you know what I mean? And I never saw that, but I knew I had it in my back pocket if that's what I wanted to do. You know what I mean? So I just kept on playing. And then as I started seeing, when I had Steve in my club for the first time, and he sold out all them shows, and I wrote him a check for about $60,000. I was like, is this kind of money in this? This kind of money? You got to understand it. He sold 4 shows out on Saturday, 4 shows out on Friday, 4 shows out on Sunday. It's close to 3,200 tickets. We hit them all over the head for $35, 30 on there. So you put that amount of time, he's taking 85% of the dough. He's walking out there with about $60,000 in a weekend.
Wow.
It all depends on how you structure it. And you're talking about $60,000 in 1993. So that's about $180,000 now. You know what I'm saying? So he's like 60,000. You're a fucking athlete. I'll say, okay.
So, how did you end up working with Chappelle? Like, what's that story then?
Well, Chappelle, I met Chappelle when I booked him at my club. My partner, who his name is Gary, booked Chappelle. And I looked at the books and I was saying, how much money we paying this motherfucker? I'm like, who is this motherfucker? Never heard of him, know nothing about him. So
he didn't have his credentials then?
No, he was just
Chappelle.
He was baby Jesus. He was just baby Jesus. You know what I mean? You know, what people don't understand about Chappelle is, and I try to tell them so much, Chappelle is the comedy version. He's like LeBron in basketball.
Yeah,
he never had to go to college. Soon as he was born, he was destined as the chosen one. He was in there from 14, 15, and he was it. So I didn't know that much about him or know anything about him. Like I told you, I was in my own world having a good time in Atlanta. But I said, who we got coming this week? He said, we got this kid coming. His name is Dave Chappelle.
He was young then?
Oh, he was about 19.
Okay.
18, young kid. And he was young. And I said, well, you know, how much we paying him? And they told me how much we were paying. I'm like, the fuck? Wow. Who is this on? He told me all. I said, all right. Tell the manager, they ain't got to go pick him up for press. I'm going to take him for press. You know, dog to dog. You want to smell his ass. See who this motherfucker is. Getting on. You know what I mean? Man for man. Let me.
19.
Who is this?
Okay.
So I go pick him up.
Great grilled cheese, by the way.
Oh, thank you. I pick him up, Embassy Suites. Pick them up, get them in the car.
And they let you pick them up. Well, you're the owner of the club, right?
Owners of the club always get to pick up the talent. As an honor, you usually don't even get the owner. When the owner comes get you, you the shit. Usually it's the manager or something like that. So I go pick him up. Said, what's up, man? My name Quake. And hey, man, what's happening? Took him to all the spot. You smoke? You smoke? Yeah, I smoke. You smoke? All right, let's roll a couple of blunts before we go to the radio. Give him the briefing on there. Still, can't tell how great he is. See, some comedians try to prove it, be funny all the time, what we call on. You know them motherfuckers are fake. They trying to prove to you what their reputation is. True killers in our game don't say nothing till it's time, because they already authenticated they know who they are. I didn't know that at the time. So I drive him around, this motherfucker. So I come to do his show. I host, do my shit. Bring him back and just sit back. His first joke, he came up, he said, his joke was, how did white people come up with the word nigger? The most brilliant shit I ever heard in my fucking life till today. He said, we need to call these coons, we need to call these coons something. We gotta get something derogatory. They having a big ass town. I got it. No gooders. No gooders. No. You don't flow up the tongue. But backstabbers. Backstabbers. You know. Put it in the sentence. Get off of my porch, you backstabber. No, that ain't it. Woo, 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 woo. Billy Bob. Nigger. 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 I got it rolls off the tongue. Put it in there. Get off my porch, you nigger.
I think I've
Get
seen
off
that.
my back, you nigger. I grabbed a bottle of champagne and said, that boy is great. And it was the respect of the intellect of the joke. And that's what I try to write. It's serious, but you make it funny, but it's just to let you know, how did they come up with that? And look how he put it in a comedy way, so you can digest it without being offended by it.
Yeah.
And it's a beautiful craft when you able to put that together. And he was doing that at an early age. And he told me that was the first time that he had worked that joke out or told that joke was at my club. And I was like, it's still one of the best jokes ever. And you got to see it, ooh, 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 Billy Bob.
How does it feel now having the Dave Chappelle Presents on Netflix?
It was career defining, career changing. And you gotta understand, my number one constituents who support me is my people. And the support is, there's no words to even tell my gratitude for it. But professionally, on a point is, when you don't do mainstream rooms such as Catch a Rising Star, Comedy Cellar, Comedy Store, the people who can elevate your career at a higher level don't come where I tell my jokes at.
Yeah, yeah.
See, my constituents, my people, so I go where they at, where they have, and I entertain them well. But unfortunately, they don't have no TV shows.
Yeah.
They don't have no movie deals. So you just have to accept that. You know what I mean? If you notice, most of our stars, you never seen them motherfuckers until they was presented to you in a show or something.
Yeah, yeah.
Only your Bernies and the Me's and everything, you seen us come through your neighborhood to get to that platform.
Yeah. Is that why you did Everybody Hates Chris and all those guys? Or?
No, I just took advantage of the opportunity that was given to me. Chris put me on the show, and he presented the opportunity, and he shared the plate, which they knew he was great. And he said, hey, man, I know somebody y'all might not have heard of. I'm telling you, he's great. Put him on. And that's the same thing Dave done for it. Because if you not in that circle, like I said, performing in front of them, or have somebody in the room to say, hey, man, this motherfucker is funny, and they believe in it, You can be as funny as the fuck you want to be. You still ain't gonna get a shot on ABC, none of the major carriers, because we don't own anything. Even when we own BET, we didn't own BET.
Yeah.
You
Or
know
even
what
when
I'm
we're like running it and we're not really.
We're not running. They still not a student of the game. They still don't, you know, they put BET up like Comic View. We don't give opportunity for, you know, the comedians in our community. But you still pick the motherfuckers who came up outside our community. No disrespect to them.
Yeah.
But you don't go down to Compton to find out who's performing at the club down in Compton that's killing. You know what I mean?
Why do you think that is?
Job security, afraid to make the wrong move because your decision you make with the opportunity you fought so to be a decision maker, you need to go with something definite that's
like safe.
That's safe yours, and plus, to be quite honest, you don't have the authority to give a shot to somebody else on it. You have to bring a named person for them to give you the okay, you can do it.
Do you think that's why it seems like the Steve Harvey, the Dave Chappelle's, I feel like all those comics of that genre, and it could be just that they all kind of came up at the same era, but from an outsider, it looks like you guys all stick together and support each other and pull, like if someone's not being recognized, you kind of like pull them over the fence. Like now that they're out the hole, they're like, I'm gonna throw you a line. You deserve it, you earned it, but I'm gonna throw you the line since these other people can't see it.
Well, most great comedians understand one thing. Only difference between each great comedian is that one great comedian got an opportunity and they cashed in on it. That's the only difference. Once you get the opportunity and you cash in on it, more opportunities come in. And if you're not egocentric and you're not sitting here worrying about it, you'll say, hey man, this man is just as great as me. Y'all need to check him out.
Yeah.
And those people down that opportunity thinking you're all great. He's like, hey, what about him? See him. And you wouldn't feel by giving him an opportunity that you struck so hard to get, gonna keep you from getting more opportunity again. That you're gonna get. And that's why most great comedians, and the people that you speak, your DLs, your Steve Harveys, your Bernies, your Cedric at the time, Chris Rock, Dave, Kev, they don't mind giving it to it because they understand once they was given that opportunity. You know, people always say, what was your big break? It ain't called a big break. Where did you get an opportunity and you cashed in on it? That's what it is. It ain't no fucking thing as a big break. Is what opportunity came in and you cashed in on it. Jordan, game for 6'3", he took the shot. He made the shot. The whole world was there to see it. He submitted.
Wow, that's a great way to look at it, actually.
It's the only way to look. I mean, because it's honesty. Because you're dealing with something that's subjective. What's funny to you may not be funny to me. So I had always people come to me like, Quake, why you don't have no TV show? You ain't got no movies. I say, ain't like I turned the shit down.
Yeah.
I just hadn't had the opportunity to cash in on it, and that's all it is.
Do you write for shows ever?
Oh no.
Is there a reason why you're against it? Because you just said no, like you're adamant.
Too much time in writing for somebody else.
How often do you write for yourself?
Every day.
Is it like, if I had to be like a fly on the wall, like a day in your life, what does it look like?
Get up 7, because I had to take my grown-ass son to work.
Why? Why would you have to do that?
Because that's our quality time.
Oh, okay.
You know, a lot of people are like, dang, yeah. It's like, nah.
How old is he?
He'll be 21, June 4th.
Okay. So that's like grown, but not, I was thinking
no,
like,
but I call
okay.
him grown because he's here from college, and he got his first summer job.
Okay.
And I enjoy that, you know. I enjoy, you know, paid a lot of money for that ride.
Yeah.
You know, so I take him, drop him off work, and, you know, I box and I invest in boxers. I have to working out with that and come back, take my acting class at 10 o'clock. Then 1 o'clock I do my radio show, Quake House, friendly plug, number 1.
Check out Quake House, #1 radio show.
Sirius XM, Kevin Hart's Laugh Out Loud Radio. Finish that at 3, come back and do another acting session off of it, and then the rest of it, whatever.
How do you come up with the jokes, though? Is it just living everyday life and pinning it?
For me, my process is just being informed. Read the newspaper, but watch the news, watch what's going on, go on, and then formulate my opinion based on the information I get. Like the joke of January the 6th, watched it. First thing I like, boy, I wish I was working that day as a capital city police. Believe me, they would have came off no step up because I would have been like, pat, pat, shooting them. They're like, what are you doing? Saving democracy. Pat, I've been John Wick in that bit, pat, pat. And it's the truth. You know, you sit down and that's how I form it. And you take that and you run with it. And you just add other stuff to that initial thought. And that's how I formulate it. And once the thought has evaporated, you go to the next thought.
When do you retire a joke? When do you say, you know what, fine, the world can have it?
Mine's always already because I get tired of saying it. And plus, other stuff didn't happen.
Yeah. Like, so I know you have a lot of shows coming out. Another plug.
Legendary tour, Earthquake with Donnell Rollins. Come see us.
I want to come to your show.
Yes, you can.
And so, of course, I was asking Earthquake before we were taping. I was like, you know, are you gonna say the same jokes? Because a lot of comedians, they say the same jokes, you know, while they're working it out before they go to tape. So I'm like, you know, if I were to go to your show, what am I gonna see? Am I gonna see the same material that I have seen? And your response was, no.
That's blasphemy.
Yeah.
The rule is, I don't know, because a lot of comedians don't follow the rules no more.
No, they
don't.
don't.
The rules is, once you put it on TV, it's gone.
So you can't do it live?
You don't supposed to do it live. You might say something from it or that for some people that want to hear it on that point. But the totality of the set should never ever be done again.
So if you see a comedian say a joke on video, when you go to the club, you shouldn't expect to see that same joke.
No,
again.
you shouldn't.
I agree with that.
No, that's the rule.
I didn't know that was the rule.
No, that's the rule. That's the rule.
What are some comics that you're
watching?
watching?
You sold that. That material sold. We're not singers. You can't come back and do. You're not Jigga. You're not Beyonce. You can't go around and sing your first hit.
That's crazy. I never
Once you release it, it's gone. For me, I had always replace them every year because I was going to the same city every year. And they're not going to pay you another $40 for the $40 they paid for the joke before. And if you don't have TV, movies, which I didn't have, and you're just getting your crowd and your audience, your constituents coming off of word of mouth, you have to not only satisfy the people who coming to see you again and raise their expectation, but also meet the expectation of people who they referred you to tell you come see them.
Yeah.
So you don't have the luxury to say, girl, you know him, you know he was in Friday.
Yeah.
Girl, you know he's in Blackies. You don't get none of that. Yeah, he's funny, and you got to be funny. And black people are the hardest people to make laugh. They come in that motherfucker just.
They come make me laugh.
Make me laugh.
Me
you owe
laugh.
me.
You owe me.
I know the shit I can been doing. You over here with this bullshit. I could have wrote this bullshit. Yeah.
Who are some of your favorite up-and-comers that no one knows that you've been peeping?
Oh.
Let's give the up-and-comers some love. Let's see who you got. Who you got your eye on that we should be looking out for?
See, that's a bad question for me.
Why?
See, I don't watch other comedians.
You don't? What about your friends?
Yeah, when we work together. But
when you're in a club, have you gone out and seen somebody on stage where you're like, okay, or you just hang out in the back room?
No, the only reason why, I hang sometimes, but I hear a little bit and go because, see, I don't write. So when you don't write and you coming off of your head, you want to keep your thoughts pure. You don't want to hear somebody else and watch theirs and then subconsciously think you came up with it. So the way to keep it that way for me is I don't listen to nobody.
Okay.
That's so every joke that come out of me came out of me. There's no way I could have, because I don't listen to you.
I feel like you're the Jay-Z of rap. You know, you hear how Jay-Z like raps and he doesn't write his stuff.
Yeah.
That's how you are.
Yeah, the same way. When I heard that from him, I'm like, damn.
That's me.
That's how, I said we come to the same formula to get our product, our same manufacturing way to come to release our talent, and it has always been that way for me. I tried it when I first got into comedy, writing it down and rehearsing it, and to think about a joke for me, it's not gonna be, I just gotta let it flow.
So you don't have to practice anymore?
No, what I have to do is just be the best me and then take.
Because you're one take quick.
One take quick. But what it is like when I was doing for my Legendary show, taping, I just had to, let's just get sharp. And then give me what day I'm gonna be there and I'm gonna be my sharpest. And then I deal with the result what I do. It's not, I don't try to seek a certain perfection or that is not what I just try to be the best I can, the funniest I can, and then you tape it and I deal with the results of that.
After being in this game a long time, do you see it as work?
No,
like, are there moments where you're like, oh, I gotta go on the road?
Of course. I mean, it's the occupational hazard. But see, my God is so good to me. He instantly shows me where I could be. Like one time I was feeling that way, and then I seen this homeless dude. I swear that motherfucker looked like me. I said, damn, look at me out there picking that goddamn trash up. Looked like me, had my mannerism, had my swag. Of course he was not doing well, but I looked at him and I seen him, and then it made me say thanks again and gave me back to where I'm usually at, gratitude. I'm so gratified. I'm just the gratitude.
I imagine you're on the road a lot, and I'm almost wrapping, I know, guys. I imagine you're on the road a lot as a comic.
Yeah.
What do you do to pass the time?
Sleep, God damn it. I believe in rest. I don't care what nobody say. I get mine. Rest is very important there. I'm not no Christopher Columbus. And what I mean by I don't just go out and explore shit. I'm in Dallas, Texas. Let me see what they got to offer.
You didn't do that at any point in your career?
No, I never do. I don't know. Like, I go to different things if I'm invited, but other than that, no.
You're just sleeping.
Resting, getting ready for work. It's like a fight, man. Because, see, since I don't write, I have to protect my environment because the wrong shit could throw me off, and then I'll be talking about that all night. So I already know so I have to keep it sanitized. I have to keep my mood great and where it needs to be, and that's why I don't talk on the phone 4 hours before a show. So I don't want you to mess with my point of view.
Yeah, I could get protecting that mind space, especially if you're not writing. And you have to protect that energy. You don't want anything to you don't want to get in a fight or argument with someone right before you go on stage.
I did it when I was married, man, and I'll be up there talking nothing about but marriage shit. The whole show. I'm like, damn. And I'll see the light come on, because the light indicates you didn't did your time. Like, damn, it's 45 minutes, and I've been the whole moment. It's been killing, but the whole thing, and I say to myself, that ain't even what I wanted to talk about. And then I got
even though it killed.
It killed, but then I gotta find that point of view again. You know what I mean? Okay. I gotta. Well, I was talking about what's the name? What did I say? Oh yeah. Okay. And that's why I tape all my shows too. But anyway, so I protected that over the years. I've learned to do that, and it's definitely I don't talk to nobody because it's big states now. Yesterday's prices ain't today's prices. You know what? Call that my agent. You'll see.
Did you ever bump into or see or know whatever happened to that guy that didn't put you up in the club?
Yeah, they're doing a documentary. They asked me to be in it.
Are you serious?
Fuck yeah.
Did you say no?
I don't say no. I tell anybody. I'll do anything for you as long as you tell the facts. As long as you tell the truth.
Okay.
I'll be a part of your documentary. Say you the motherfucker that turned Quake down and he went and got in. God damn it, I'll be in your documentary. Tell the fucking truth.
And are they going to be able to say that you shut down their club in the end?
I don't know what they say, but tell the truth.
Okay.
Just whatever, I tell that for anybody, women, anybody that's in my life. I will participate in your book, your movie, anything that I can, because I I have never been ashamed of anything I have done. And I know why what I've done. And the things I have done, I had the reason to do it, and I'm good with it. And everybody else can make their decision. And I'm the type of person, to be quite honest with you, nobody's opinion matters to me but God. And so if me and him cool with it, who the fuck are you? So I don't get caught up in that. And so when he came with me and asked me to be in it, I said, sure. And I told him the same thing I said. Now tell the truth.
Yeah.
As long as you tell the truth now. Now don't gloss it off. Say what you did and you was the motherfucker that said Quake couldn't get in it, and it was a good move. Because had you not did that, I wouldn't have got my own club. Yeah. So I'm not mad at you. Not only I'm not mad at you, I will never be mad at you because you don't determine my future, bastard. Even by not letting me perform in your club. How dare I think something that you did to me will mark me in my life? You ain't shit.
No.
So I'm not that dude.
One thing I noticed about comics, and this could be an observation that I could be totally wrong with, but some people will say, well, some people say comics are sad on the inside or whatever. I think the common denominator, from what I've seen close up to knowing some, being married to one, having a brother that's one, meeting you guys, I feel like comics are honest.
True.
I feel like they love the truth. Like they thrive very well in the truth. I mean, they put a sarcastic twist, but I feel like for some strange reason, they are able to handle the truth on a significant level. Whereas the rest of the world, like how you're like, I just want the truth. Do you feel like that with comedy?
Yeah, it is. I mean, some people call it self-deprecation, and that what it truly is, we acknowledge what it is. Mm-hmm. And we said, that's why I say these ain't jokes. When people be laughing at the stuff I say, I'd be like, these ain't jokes. But comics are some of the most hurt people in the world. And
why do people say that though?
No, they are. They are.
Is it because they're dealing in truth?
Well, it's dealing with what I personally feel is they're dealing with their shortcomings and their pain, and they're sharing it. And the best way, instead of laying on the couch telling one person and being charged $100 an hour, they rather stand on the stage and tell all of y'all and charge y'all $100 an hour.
Wow, that's interesting. That's a good way to look at it.
You know
that
what I
makes
mean?
sense.
Yeah. Lay on this couch and let a person who don't know you read some books using the generalization of what he think you is with a diagnosis, or stand on that motherfucker and let all of y'all hear it, and I sit there and I reanalyze it myself and get paid for it. Yeah. That's just our point of view on it. I don't, I know this motherfucker's a PhD, but shit, fuck that. Don't make him smart. He don't know me, motherfucker. He don't know what it is to have your brother do this to you, your mother do this to me. He's speculating. Well, fuck it. Let me get all these people, let them hear it and laugh at it. We laugh at my shit together, and I get paid for it. Free drinks and food. I'd rather take this one than land with that one.
Yeah, me too.
And if I need medication, who got the cocaine? Got to practice, actually. We find our own, the liquor and the rest of it. And what I'm saying is to medicate, our demons like everybody else.
Yeah.
That's all. Self-prescribed. Yeah. We don't go to the doctor and go to CVS. We go see old Leroy in the back with the 8-ball.
Yeah. I mean, that kind of sucks, though, but yeah.
No, that's life.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of motherfuckers ain't dealing with this shit. They just ain't. They suppress it, they camouflage it, they deny it. Then you wonder why this motherfucker choking you at 3 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. Well, before we close out on that note.
This motherfucker on the stage told you, I'm gonna choke shit out you, get on my nerve. That's all.
What advice would you give to any comics trying to get in the game?
Be original. And work anywhere that you can work.
You mean in comedy or like Burger King?
No, in comedy.
Okay.
Like for me, I used to go to bands, they have live bands. Band take a break. I used to go to the bar and like, hey man, when a band take a break, I tell these jokes and entertain them in exchange for $50 and something to drink, this and all. And that's what I do.
That's smart.
So it gave me more stage pride, more different crowds, different formulas, different this and that. Got a drink, got $50. Back then, all the hotels had bands and shit like that. You know, little motherfucker come sing and all that. Hello, we'll take a break. We'll be right back with you. I go in there and say, let me do it. That's how I did it. That's what I tell them. Anywhere that you can stand on stage and develop your craft among people who that you'll never come in their area in their life without you being on that stage, that's the best one, because you'll find out your talent is universal and you can go anywhere.
That's brilliant advice. I'm sure a lot of comics would not think to do that.
Well, they don't want to work. See, I'm a 30-year overnight sensation. You know what I mean? Overnight success in 30 years.
That's a long time.
No, it's not.
30 years?
No, it's not.
38.
It's some over real. Goddamn. I mean, you 38, that means you was 8 when I did it. You know what I mean? I was going to spend these 30 years doing something. So why not this?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? A person told me a long time ago, my mother used to say, a friend said, well, I was going to go get my law degree. By the time I get finished with it, I'd be 65. And my mother said, well, how old would you be without it?
Yo, your mom's dope.
She said
your mom's
65.
good with that tough love.
So she said, well, ain't it better to be 65 with it than without it? Because you're going to be 65, period.
Shout out to
you
your
understand
mom.
what I'm saying? So she was like, what you mean too late?
Yeah, yeah.
It is never too late or it took too long. This was going to be the time anywhere. This is what you was doing in the time that God is giving you. So I never, ever looked at it was too late. And the greatest thing about it, I always knew the money never go down.
Ah.
The money
only
never
goes
go
up.
down.
Well, especially if you started at free.
No, whatever Dave, Kev get, the next dude who the top motherfucker get more than that. That's how it works.
Oh.
It works that way in entertainment. So the money go down. So you have to be honest with yourself and see them and say, hey, am I not as funny as they are? And if you feel you are, then you just be cool till they come to your name. Till it's your turn. They call the E's.
But what if someone doesn't feel like they're amongst the greats yet? Like they're just starting out and they're like then their confidence.
Well, you don't have to be great. You just have to be competent.
Okay.
And your greatness is not validated by commercial success, such as TV shows, movies, and arenas. I tell my comedians all the time, quality is not quantity. Quality is not quantity. In other words, just because a motherfucker got 10,000 people don't mean he's a better comic than me and my 300 people.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm just as funny as this motherfucker. It's just more people know about him than I do.
Yeah, yeah.
So I never look at him, you know. Quantity is not quality. Just because you can bring 30,000 people to come see you don't mean you're a better comic than me that I can only bring 300.
Yeah, that's true.
It's just that you got a better way of getting out to the people.
More
to
people
let
know
them
you.
know you, to come see you, to see that. And if we look deep in it, somewhere along the line, you had an opportunity that you cashed in on, which opportunity I didn't, that didn't get me on a high level for them to see that I, too, have the same qualities that you have to justify the same quality of people to come to see me. So you keep your quality up, and eventually you'll get the quantity.
Wow.
It'll come. And the best advice I can give you, this ain't the reason you get in the game. To be a comedian is your first thing. I just want to make people laugh. And if you achieve that, then you are that.
You said that is a good reason?
That's the only reason.
Is that you want to make people laugh.
That's what a comedian is. I'm going to make you laugh. The money comes along with it. I have friends all the time. I tell them, if you put as much time as you do in the women as you put in your jokes, you'll be a star. Wow. Women are the result of the joke, not the motivation for the joke. So a lot of comedians get on stage just to get the women. Yeah. No, you get on stage to be funny. The result of being funny equals the woman. You don't get up there, let me be funny so the woman come get you.
Yeah.
And most of them comedians never win because they lose, the essence of it, just to be funny. When you just sitting in your bathroom with your toothbrush, telling a joke in the mirror, and sitting out there, you was just waiting at that point for it to be funny. I drove from my house all the way down to this club, put my name on the list, waiting. You done said your joke in your mind 1,000 times. This is gonna work, and this is how it's gonna be. And you get up there and it work. Oh, this shit work. Then 1 minute turn to 2 minutes. That's what you in for. In return from doing that at a higher level, then all the other things come. Not vice versa. Man, I gotta be a comic so I can get me a TV show and this and that. And those usually fizzle on down.
Wow. Wow, you're deep. Legends are deep. Well, thank you so much for coming and blessing the set, feeding me a grilled cheese sandwich classic.
Yes.
And dropping some true gems. Now, I'm not going to become a comic, but I'm definitely going to be checking out your show. If y'all want to catch Earthquake, the real Earthquake, on Instagram, you can slide into his DMs, but you can also find out when he is performing and where he's performing at on another episode of Eating While Broke. Peace.
You heard her.
My bro.